Now, the news you count on. This is NBC2 News.
Well, thank you for watching NBC2, the news and weather station in Southwest Florida that you count on. I'm Devin Turk. Here are the top stories and news at this hour. A stabbing on 5th Avenue in Naples this morning, and here's what we know right now. Police arrested a man outside of the 5th Avenue coffee shop. The victim was taken to the Naples Community Hospital for treatment. They had non-life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, the suspect, that's 53-year-old William Lyons, he was taken to the Collier County Jail. You can stick with NBC2 as we work to learn more. NBC2 has also learned that someone brought a weapon to South Fort Myers High School. According to the principal, that happened yesterday, and that student was arrested and being disciplined per the student code of conduct. We've reached out to the school district, and they tell us that the firearm was found during a search of the student, but the weapon was never out in the open, and they say students were not in danger. Today also marks 1 month since Hurricane Irma ripped through Southwest Florida. It knocked power out for thousands in our area, some going without electricity for weeks. It also flooded out homes, destroying belongings, including cars and furniture. We still have people displaced because of the storm. Just last week, Lee County officials told us approximately 200 people are still at the Estero Recreation Center. About 100 people were at the North Fort Myers shelter. They were working to consolidate the two shelters into one. Every shelter in Charlotte, Collier, and Glades counties have been closed. For those that are able to get home, they didn't imagine dealing with a level of flooding that just engulfed their workplaces. A vacation rental in Longboat Key, Florida had a hidden camera secretly recording guests in the bedroom. As John Rogers reports, police recovered pictures and videos dating back to 2008, but they need the public's help to identify the victims.
Last month, an Indiana man and his wife were staying at a Longboat Key condo they found on Airbnb at 623 Cedars Court. But the man later noticed this smoke detector in the bedroom. Does something seem off to you? There, see that black dot? It revealed there was a secret camera and microphone hidden inside, and it was pointed right at the bed.
We did have the opportunity to analyze what was on the SD card, and there are a couple different people on them.
The owner, Wayne Nat, was arrested and charged with video voyeurism. Nat lives in the unit when it's not booked, and he says the cameras are for his personal use and are not activated when guests are present. But police say the cameras can be operated remotely, and they found numerous videos in the bedroom, including one of the Indiana couple. Nat was not home today. Police believe there were many victims who were unknowingly recorded.
Who knows what it's being used for? So it's very concerning.
Luke Bakeman has rented condos during his visits here.
Would you ever think to look around for those sorts of things? Or
No, never. Because it's trust. You know, everything is based on trust. Any relationship is based on trust. And if you don't have trust, you have nothing.
Police have confiscated the cameras and computer equipment, but officers could really use the public's help in this case.
I suspect there's other victims. It's just whether we can identify them or not.
Now, that was John Rogers reporting. He reached out to an Airbnb official. They told him that they're outraged by it. They banned Nat from using the site. We also have a war of words happening between President Donald Trump and one prominent Republican senator, and it may spill over into your wallet. Tracy Potts is on Capitol Hill with more on how this Twitter feud could have a real impact on taxes and national security.
Republican Tennessee Senator Bob Corker, one of candidate Trump's earliest supporters, no longer a fan.
I think Secretary Tillerson, Secretary Mattis, and Chief of Staff Kelly are those people that help separate our country from chaos.
He calls the White House adult daycare. President Trump claims Corker didn't have the guts to run for re-election without his support.
Both ought to cool it.
The kind of behavior that we saw this weekend is making it more difficult and not easier for the president to get his agenda through.
President Trump needs Corker's vote on immigration, taxes, and the budget next week.
He'll be a big help in helping us get it passed.
We think that on our key agenda items, Senator Corker's vote will be there because he knows it's important for the people of Tennessee.
Plus Iran. President Trump wants out of the nuclear deal. First stop, Corker's Foreign Relations Committee. And it's not just Republicans. The president had built up some goodwill with Democratic leaders, but that seems to be disappearing after he insisted that Congress pay for his wall before he'll sign off for protections for young immigrants. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
Now, several massive wildfires are burning out of control in Napa and Sonoma counties. Flames have already destroyed at least 1,500 buildings, including homes. Jennifer Bjorklund reports from Napa, where evacuations are in full force.
A raging firestorm ripped through Northern California's wine country Monday, fueled by dry conditions and wind gusts topping 50 miles per hour.
It's like Armageddon out here.
It's insane. I've never seen anything like it.
15 fires are burning in 8 counties, taking down more than 1,500 structures, scorching vineyards and wineries, leaving at least 11 dead, and reports of more than 100 missing.
And this behind me is just a small snapshot of what's taking place. Resources actually continue to pour into this area, as well as different areas within the state, to mitigate these situations.
Thousands of people are under evacuation orders across Northern California, including 2 hospitals. California Highway Patrol used choppers to rescue dozens of people in their cars trapped by flames. Hundreds of firefighters attacking the blaze from the air and the ground.
We've got blocks and blocks and blocks of homes that are completely destroyed, neighborhoods that are destroyed,
including the house that once belonged to Jose Vigil and his family, who narrowly escaped the fire.
The wind was so strong and so noisy, and the people driving crazy to try to get out.
In Southern California, another wind-fueled fire tore through Anaheim with smoke and flames visible from Disneyland. At least 6 homes burned to the ground.
And literally, this just went up in seconds.
Resources across the state stretched thin as investigators look for the cause to what started these deadly fires. And those investigations are going on even as the fires are still burning. It'll be weeks before crews can say these fires are out. In Napa, Jennifer Bjorklund, NBC News.
Meanwhile, California police has say they've received more than 100 missing person reports. Officers think some can be duplicate calls, but they're simply following up on that today. Just over a week since the deadliest mass shooting in United States history, and the first bill was filed aiming to ban the device used in the attack. The shooter in Las Vegas used what's known as a bump stock. That's an accessory for a semi-automatic gun that allows it to fire more rapidly. Currently, it's legal to sell and own, but if this bill that was proposed by an Orlando senator becomes law, they'll ban them from the state. Now, we spoke with an NRA certified firearm instructor to get his thoughts on that proposed ban.
We're kind of adopting the NRA's position. We would like to see legislation enacted to limit or control the bump fire, but we would prefer not to see legislation making them illegal.
Republican Senator Denise Grimsley of Southwest Florida said in a statement to NBC2 that the Las Vegas massacre was the result of a madman consumed by evil. I always want to carefully examine proposals and legislation to think it through, listen and debate. The legislative session starts in January. A crazy crash in Lehigh Acres ended up with one person taken to jail. This happened on 7th Street West. That's just north of Lee Boulevard. Now, take a look. Deputies say that someone launched their car over a canal. They were arrested. We're working to find out what that person is charged with. We do know that they were the only ones in the car. And some giant balloons like this could be floating across Puerto Rico, and they may be the answer to one of the island's biggest problems right now. That's where millions of Puerto Ricans are still without cell service after Hurricane Maria just devastated that island. Now, the FCC has given approval for Project Loon, which uses balloons to help provide internet service to people in hard-to-reach areas. And remember, you can count on NBC2 for the latest information from across Southwest Florida on our website, NBC-2.com.
Stay connected, on air, online, and on the go. Everywhere you are, count on NBC2 first.